The Marvels was one of the movies I anticipated this year. Not because I expected it to be very good, but because I thought it would be so bad it would be funny. However, I was quite disappointed. This movie represents the worst kind of bad. It's pretty boring and forgettable. The story goes that Kree, named Dar-Ben, wants to save Hala, the home planet of the Kree Empire. Why does she need to save Hala? Because after the end of the first Captain Marvel movie, Carol went to the Hala and destroyed the Supreme Intelligence. This led to the civil war among the Kree that ruined the planet's atmosphere, water, and sun for some reason. The destruction is actually never explained, always just attributed to the civil war and infighting. Huh? Despite this incredible destruction, the Kree can still live on the planet, and only proper protection movies show us on them are really shitty masks. By the way, the Kree call Captain Marvel Annihilator. I prefer that name for her.
I got it.
To help Hala, Darth Karen needs quantum bands. She discovers that one of them is buried on a random planet that looks like a set from OG Star Trek Season 1. And the second one is the band that Kamala's grandmother sent to Kamala in the post. The movie of course never explains why one is in space, because explaining seems to be overrated in modern writing. And if it's explained in the Mrs. Marvel TV show, I'm sorry, I don't know, because I've never watched it. And no matter what, it still should be mentioned here, because it's very important to the plot and to the story. One of the main elements highlighted in the trailers and marketing was how all the Marvels change positions with each other when they use their powers. This occurs when Dar-Ben first uses her quantum band, creating some sort of portal or hole in the universe. This portal is somehow connected to the jump gates that are used for intergalactic travel in the MCU. The switching starts when both the Annihilator and Monica John Rambo touch this portal or hole in the universe at the exactly same time. While these trained and experienced soldiers touch a random thing in space that could be very dangerous, because it was colorful and mysterious. Yeah, that's the reason. You're probably asking how Kamala fits into this changing. Well, she has the other band on her when all of this happens.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The switching is actually an interesting idea and maybe a good way to nerf a certain overpowered character. But it's immediately downplayed, because they change places only and only when they use their powers at the same time. For me, this makes it immediately less interesting, because everything they have to do is not use their powers at the same time and everything's fine. And it's apparent that writers wanted to introduce something interesting without tackling the complexity of this issue. They wanted to have their cake and eat it too. As I said before, Darth wants to save Hala, and she will do it by destroying other planets. Planets that are very significant to Annihilator. We visit 2 of these planets, one of which is inhabited by many Skrull refugees. Someone should be informing Gravik and Talos about this refugee planet. The planet looks really nice. Livable.
Anyway,
Darth arrives on this planet and opens a portal to Hala, which begins literally to suck the atmosphere from this planet into Hala. That's not how the space works. You can't just transfer the atmosphere from one planet to another like that. The planet gets destroyed and the Skrulls have to flee. And they flee with cameo of an amazing character everyone really loves and enjoys and wants to see again. So, planet number 2. Anadala? Is the planet where people can communicate only through singing. And they can understand only through singing. Interesting. I don't want to dwell on the singing too much. The singing is neither amusing nor significant to the anything that happens in the plot. The only character with whom our Marvel girls actually interact doesn't need to sing. Why? Because he is bilingual.
Anyway.
So in the end, on this planet, Darth successfully sucks the water from this planet and spits it out onto Hala. By the way, she is dropping the water onto Hala right next to the capital city. The city is fucked. Last but not least is our solar system, and Darth plans to extract power from our sun to Hala's sun. Because that's how dying stars work. So in the end, we witnessed another standard generic MCU fight scene with practically no consequences until the plot dictates consequences now must happen. So in the end of the fight scene, Darth takes the second band from Kamala. How did she do it? She gets Kamala under her foot, and all our marveling girls forgot about one thing. We immediately trade places when we use our powers, so Darth is able to get the band from Kamala. But don't worry, when Darth uses both of the bands in the same time, she dies, because she's unable to withstand all the power. Also, by doing this, she opens a hole to another universe. So John Rambo needs to close this hole, and the only way how to close it is to get stuck on the other side. So she does it. So John Rambo is stuck in the other universe. That's end of story for her in this movie. For the Annihilator, the movie ends with her going to Hala to reignite Hala's sun. And why she does it? Because John Rambo told her. So she did it. Those two of you who saw this movie might be wondering why I'm not mentioning Nick Fury, Kamala's family, and the cats. Why should I mention them? These elements are completely irrelevant to the main storyline and contribute nothing positive to this train wreck of a movie. But to satisfy your curiosity, at least a bit, I will ask one thing about these pointless aspects. Why is Nick Fury taking Kamala's family onto the top secret Sabre's base? There is no reason for it. But I'm glad we are getting the stupid and still incompetent Nick Fury from the Secret Invasion. At least we are consistent with it. By the way, Fury, where is your scroll of life? How is she doing? Where is she? Why we are not mentioning her in this movie at all? And one last thing, please never put these cats into another MCU movie ever again. Please. The whole movie is useless and cringeworthy, with bad writing and horrible pacing.
Sometimes my genius is... it's almost frightening.
To say something positive about this movie, at least something, I really liked Iman Vellani. Like, even if her character serves mainly as comic relief and doesn't contribute much to the main story until the end, she's quite likable. I wish she had a good script and production to support her talent, because I think she can have a good future. But now I must go and forget every bit of this movie. I already forgetting most of it. So I'm glad my recording is over. Well, that's one of these pluses. You will probably forget this movie in a week. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Space Monkish signing off.